All right. Okay, I think we will come back to other one. There is one more slide I wanted to cover, but let me come back. So you just pay attention here. I'll get you time as I talk, and I want to make sure you guys pay attention here first. Then I'll get you something to catch up. Okay. All right. So you all have Outlook account, I'm assuming, right? So now we need to go to the DevOps, right? That's the tool we are talking about. So how do you access the DevOps tool? So Azure DevOps, you can just search on it, log in, and this is the site that will come up. Okay, so dev.azure.com. That's where you can access the tool. Okay, so first thing, if you are already signed in, it will ask you to sign up. Okay, so what most likely you will end up is, let me log out actually so that you guys can see it. Come on. For me, somehow it's popping up this one. But you will end up somewhere here. Let me go back here. Let's log in down.
Just to sign in or sign up?
You will probably end up on a free, right? dev.azure.com, the screen here. I think I have it in the slide. Let me just go to the slide here. So that way it's easier. I sent you this slide as well. Okay, so this PowerPoint PDF. So you will end, when you go to this site or dev.azure.com, you will end up on this start free. Okay, that's where you need to click on start free, and that's where you will enter the Outlook login and so forth. Okay, so once you do that, once you click login after start free, then you will end up on this type of screen. It will pop up something like this. Okay, this is where you will end up. Okay, so here the project. So you can name it whatever you want, your project name. I would name it maybe something similar to Airflow. Okay, then now you all are creating you all have a separate account. Your project will be your own only. Okay, so only you can work through your own project. In the real life, everybody will log in and they will access the same project. Okay, in the real life. But here, since we don't have centralized, we'll just use the whatever we can. So we will use the public. Make sure you change it to public region, and then you have L34NSKR. Okay. Now, unfortunately, here they don't give you more settings. So I wouldn't worry about anything else other than L34, whatever it pops up for you, you can just type it in. Let me hide this guy. Okay. So let me continue. So it will set up. Yeah, this is the first step you need to get past. So make sure you type in YGV or whatever pops up. Okay. All right, finally, third try, I'm in. Okay, so it will try to set up the project for you. Okay, it might take a few minutes, first time.
What would be the project name?
Just leave it default. Also, you just leave it default. Whatever is there, leave it default. Just type in ABC, it doesn't matter. Leave it default. Okay. Now you will end up on this type of screen here. Here, what we will do is now we will create a real project. Okay. So because we are here, let's go ahead and create actual Airflow project. Now you have two options here, public and private. So private meaning nobody can access your project. If you do public, Anybody can on the internet can view your project here. Okay, and that's what we want.
Harshal, I have a question.
Yeah,
For Azure,
Yeah.
on the login sign, do I need to create a Airflow by myself or do I need to join Airflow?
no, you since we don't have centralized way, and this is a free account, right? So you
Yes.
can say there are only 5 people you can share this account with. So we have 12 people. We don't have centralized way. So go ahead and create basically public for now. Okay, and you can provide the URL so anybody else can see your project, whatever you are doing. Okay.
But what is the name of your Azure DevOps organization? So when I put the Airflow there, it shows name is
Default. Just leave it default.
It's not letting us to click on public.
So
yes,
there is
because
so hang on. Niliva, hang on. Let's follow here. I'll let you give you guys time to work through. Okay. So here you don't see the public option, right? It could be that there is a non-unique project here. Let me come here. Doesn't let you do that. Public project turned off. So what it says is public projects are disabled for your organization. You can turn on public visibility within organization policies. So let me see here. Okay, public privacy URL.
Policy.
Policy.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, generally, I mean, somebody else will do that work for you in the organization. You don't have to do that. So allow public projects. Okay, that's what you need to check. So click on save and go back to the dashboard. This is where you will go back Azure DevOps. Now you will be able to select public. Okay, here give the name Airflow as well. And what happens is if somebody else has the Airflow project, you might get an error because when you are creating public projects, it has to have a unique name. So probably what you want to do is put your name behind the Airflow dash whatever project name. Okay. Now we are creating, there are various type of processes. Okay. So by default, it has a work item is very important here. So what I want you guys to select is from the work item, select Scrum. So this is where you will have Agile Scrum process following that. But as I said, there is a CMMI as well as Agile and as well. But I want you guys to select Scrum, okay, from there, and then click on Create Project. Okay. Oh, there it created. So my project is created here. So I want you guys to follow up to here on your computer and see if you guys are okay, because that's where we'll be doing the work. I want you guys to make sure you have the project created. Just create a new one. New one, I mean, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
So-
I'm sorry. I was having an issue with the login. When I go into create it, do I do the do I use my email or do I use the intellect?
No, your email. You log in to use your email.
Right.
Whatever Outlook account email you created.
Okay. And you said to create the project name, I just use
Yeah.
Airflow and your name and my name.
Yeah, we'll put your name. Yep, kind of like what you see on the screen, Airflow Harshal Patel.
So, do I need to do Outlook email there?
Yep, yeah, that's the one, Outlook email, right? That's the one you guys created. So that's the whole reason I asked you guys to create the account.
Harshal.
Yes, go ahead, Dimple.
Yes, so I'm trying to put the trying to log in Azure. And
Okay.
when I logged in with my email address, it is taking me to the name your Azure DevOps organization.
Okay.
So when I try to put the rflown, it shows it name is already taken.
Yeah, so put some unique name. As I said, put some unique name, put your first name and last name.
Okay.
So that way it's a unique. It will give a unique name. Because when you are creating the public project, right? Anybody in the world can create the public project. It has to be unique project name.
Okay.
Yep.
And we will host your projects in Central US.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it's asking you. Can you let me do? I'm going to stop sharing. You can go ahead and share your screen so that I can see it.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead and share your screen.
What would be the server name?
Just leave it blank or whatever default. No, you are not in DevOps. This is something else. It's a JFrog.
I missed.
Okay, let me repeat the process here. Okay. Just simple, doesn't matter. Whatever is there, select default and just type it in. You're good, I think.
Okay. Okay.
And you can stop sharing. I think
Yes.
once you enter these characters, you should be good. Okay, I'm going to show you guys one more time. Okay, so you are on this screen, Swapnali?
No,
What screen you are on?
I see Azure Microsoft.com.
No, dev.azure.com. Did you type it in? dev.azure.com?
No, I don't.
Yep, go ahead and do that.
So how did you make it public on Friday?
Yes, I'll show you. So you have to go to the organization settings, Nilima. Look at the organization setting at the bottom. Okay. And then go to the policies. And then enable allow public projects. So you can change from private to public or create new public projects.
What's the, is it project setting or organization?
Organization settings.
Yeah, I went there and what do we select from there?
So organization settings, are you on the screen? Can you see it? Okay, policies under security, you will see policies
Okay.
and click on security. Make sure you check on to allow public projects. This particular setting. Yep.
I think I logged in and somehow. I didn't have any log.
Okay.
Harshit,
Yep.
name your Azure DevOps organization here, dev.azure.com.
Just leave it default.
Okay.
Don't change anything else except the project name, whatever you supply, and you're good. Okay, is everybody working through? I mean, everybody has a public project created?
No, I didn't even started.
Yes, mine created.
Okay, great. I'm assuming everybody else has it created online. You
Yeah,
are
thanks for the description.
Hi, Harshal.
yes.
I'm unable to, toggle through the screen.
Okay, go ahead and share your screen. Let me just quickly take a look at it.
I couldn't even make the Azure account yet. Give me just a second.
Go ahead and share your screen.
Okay, give me just a second.
Quickly, what do we put as the description?
Doesn't matter. Just leave it blank. Just type it ABC. Doesn't matter.
So Hassel, the project is public?
Yeah, it should be public project.
No, this is not the screen.
So let me send you guys the URL. That's where you will be. You need to go. I've just put it in the chat window.
Now it says get started with Azure DevOps.
Yep, so click on start free. Start free, you see that blue button?
So Harshal, I'm on the create project started page.
Okay,
It's only, I can see the private one.
that's
the
okay. Just click OK for now.
The private one and create project.
Yeah. And I'll ask you to share your screen there in a minute, okay? After Namita is done.
Okay. And now I'm on the welcome to the project.
Yep, you're good. Yep, just stay there.
Okay.
Namita, did you type it in dev.azure.com?
No, but I need to open a page.
Click cancel here. Click cancel. You have the,
Okay.
yeah, now you should be able to type it in the URL.
So should I go into the login directly?
Add at dev.azure.com. That's what you want to type it in.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, now it asks the project name.
Start free.
So before that, there's.
Yeah, start free. Yes, Namita.
Thank you.
Click continue. Yep. Don't worry about it. Click. You have to accept and click continue. Yep. Leave it default. Don't worry about it. Type in the characters V436 in the bottom. Yep. Yep. Click continue. Don't worry about those things. Changing those things. It's fine. The only reason I'm asking you to create public project so that you can share the URL with the team members and they can see it. Okay, that's the only reason.
So project name?
Yes, Namita, give me control for a minute.
Sure. Give me just a second.
Give any name, Namita.
Okay.
No, don't worry about it. Just give me control and I'll change your setting. Because somebody, in the organization will do this for you. So you wouldn't be able to, you don't typically do this as a QA. Okay.
I did the same thing, but I can see when they are getting and mine is.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. Let me just quickly create for her.
And your space, anything, upload, anything uploading, just to know that it's your project.
Oh, that's okay. It just created the project. You're good, Namita. Okay, you can
Thank
stop
you.
sharing your. Just
Thank
stay
you,
on this.
Ashok.
No
Okay.
problem. Okay, so here, everybody's good? Who else has a issue online? Everybody good?
No, I'm on the page.
Go and share your.
Welcome to the project.
Then you're good. Welcome project, you're good. You're good, Sapnali?
Yeah, it's saying the same thing, welcome to the project.
Okay, then I think everybody has it. This is the tough part, okay? So I think that this is where somebody in the organization do that for you. You will never do that in the real life environment. So but as long as you have it, you're good. Okay, so now let's take a look at the tool. So setup part is done on our point. So generally you will end up here, right, on this screen. So here, if you are working on multiple projects, you will have different projects listed here. But since we have only one project created, this is where you will. So you have to access your project by clicking on our flown project. Okay. So now I'm actually clicking on it, and it will bring me different view here. Now there are certain things. The navigation is here. Okay, on the left side. You will see some navigation at the top as well. Now, as I said, I mean, it's a DevOps tool. Okay, so there are several features here like test plans, pipelines, which is for code deployment. But you will work mainly with the boards. This is the area where you will do most of your activities. Okay, so what I will do is I'll come to the board, hover over, and then I'll find this board that there is a sub menu that pops up. And I'm going to click on it. So it might take a second, few seconds. And it will pop up the first time, I think, says welcome to Azure Dashboard. We'll just click, close it up. Okay. Close it up. Okay. All right. So this is where this is called a dashboard view. Okay. And you generally companies customize this. Okay. So this one is, this is your backlog. It's a product backlog items. Okay, it says view as a backlog. This is a backlog dashboard. So all the user stories or all the requirements, you will see it here. Whatever the business analyst has entered, you will see it here. So this is one view of all the stories or requirements. Stories are nothing but requirements, right? You can go to the different view called backlog from this menu here as well. And right now it will be empty because you don't have any user stories created. It says new work item and nothing is listed here. Okay, but these are the two views generally you will work with. Now, as I said, there is a third item here, sprints. So sprints are 2-week sprint, right? Somebody has to set up in the tools what those 2 weeks looks like. So generally the PM or Scrum Master or whoever is doing that, yeah, they set up the sprints here, and they will basically, it says a current sprint. Okay, but you can set up the dates and so forth. See if I can pull up the dates here. Okay, but right now I'm not, somehow I'm not able to see the dates here, but again, somebody will set up those dates and stuff. Okay. Okay, so but we are dealing with mainly the stories, right? How do we go about stories? How do we create the artifacts, tasks, QA related items? So this is where I like the dashboard view because it's a cleaner view and I can see it all the stories here. So this is where I'm a BA, acting as a BA now. So I'm going to create a story. You have to create a story on your dashboard as well for whatever test cases that you have written. So you have homework items, 6 stories, plus 3 more or 2 more, whatever you will get for the homework as well. Okay, so for all those items, you have to create stories here one by one. And I'm just going to click on new. Okay, it will pop me product backlog item, which I'm click on it, and I'm just going to, for me, it's easier because I have the requirements open here somewhere. So what I'll do is I'm going to find that particular requirement. Okay, and what I'll do is see if I can. All right. Okay. Oh. All right. Somehow I'm not able to copy. Okay, but what I'll do is I know my typing speed. I know good typing, so.
So generally we can copy paste.
Yep, that's what you typically do.
Okay.
Can create user types, different user types. What is that? Can create following user type. Now, if you, let's say you tabbed out, right? You can click on that and just modify the title. Create following user types. Dealer user and whatever the second one, Alfred user. Right? Generally, the story will include more details. Okay, so if a business analyst is writing it, they will have a lot more details here in the description. You have also have acceptance criteria and so forth. But right now, we just want a placeholder for our test cases, right? So I'm just going to save it and close it. Here, my story is created. This is one story, one requirement. Okay, same way, you can add the second one. Again, I come back here, need ability to calculate loan payment based on predefined calculation, right? So I'm just going to quickly add that. To create a loan payment based on predefined calculation. And here I'm going to put the revised.
Supposed to do or we can just wait?
What is
Are we
it?
supposed to do it right now?
No. You will work through it later on. Okay, so I'm gonna create a couple of stories here.
Okay.
I just want to get you some idea how to create it. So these are backlog items, right? Now, so business analyst, so this is on day one maybe happening, or business analyst will create upfront, and you will pull these stories into sprint backlog. The way you can pull it in the sprint backlog is you assign the sprint to the story. So here it says sprint 1, right? I can push it to sprint 2. Let's say our current sprint is sprint 1, then we'll just leave it there. It's created in sprint 1 at this point. Okay, but if you are assigning to the future sprint, then you can put it, change the sprint to sprint 2, and it will, so it will be gone from here, from my board. Yeah, yep. But I'm just going to leave it. I just wanted to show you quickly. Okay. Now, if I go to the sprints view now, I should see 2 stories as part of my backlog. See, because I assigned that 2 stories to my current sprint, which is sprint 1. Okay. All right. So this is just a play around when you get a chance, right? Okay. So main point is, how do I go and create a task, create my test cases and so forth. Okay. So here you will see 3 dots for all the stories. So this story has 3 dots, this story has 3 dots. So I'm going to click on it. And here I can do different things. So it says add a task or add test. So task is generally development task. It will be added by the developers. Okay. You as a QA, you will not be adding a task. You will be always be adding a test. Okay. Just remember that. Okay. But let me just quickly show you add task. I'm going to add a task. Says here, create loan calculator web page. That's one task. Create business logic in loan calculator web service for calculation. Write database query. Okay, these 3 tasks. So I'm done with my task, and you can see this thing is added. It shows 3. 0 is nothing has been completed. 3 is 3 tasks are pending. Somebody has to do some development work. Okay. Now, generally, when you click on the task, you can add more details. Just like a user story, you can add more details for the task and supply more things. Here it says in progress, done, removed. So if it's done, right, it will update the status here. 1 out of 3 is completed on the board. You will not be doing the work, but I just want to make sure you get familiar with it. So play around when you get a chance.
So the one which is done, it is just a flag that is said that it has been done. It's
So what happens is your task is done, but your story is not complete.
Okay.
Right? If all the tasks and all the test cases are done, then what you typically do is you move the story to done status. So this is where I have implemented all the tasks as well as my test cases are passed. And the team will move it to the done status.
So who's going to move that one?
So that one is generally in the Scrum meetings, right? People say, oh, I implemented, and QA confirms, yes, everything works good. Let's move the story to a done, and you will move the story to the status in the Scrum meeting. Okay, but for now, I'm just going to put it back. It's a drag and drop, so you can put it to the different status. Okay. All right, let me push this in now.
How did you add task from where? That 3 dots.
So 3 dots, add task and add test. Everything is here. Okay, 3 dots.
Hi,
So get
Harshal.
to- Yes,
Can you show me one more time, please? How you added this, the new item, the task, or, to the URL?
this item,
Anything,
Story or-
that, the story, yes. How did you add it to the URL?
yeah, so I'm just clicking on new item and then it pops up the product backlog item, which are stories for us. And I'm just clicking on it and just typing in whatever story I have, which is ability to search lender by lender name, right? So this time,
Okay.
I'm just going to type in ability to search lender by lender name. So that's my requirement. Stories are nothing but requirements. Okay. In the waterfall, you have full document and somebody types in here tool, you are inputting the requirement, something like this. Now you see the number here, 1, 2. So story already gets a unique number. So if I add a new one, it will get sequential number. Now why skip 1, 3, 4, and 5? Because I added the task as well. So everything gets some type of unique number. So here, so I have this task and they got some type of numbers as well. Okay, which I don't see it here, but if I go in, it says 3. Okay, so everything gets a unique number automatically. Now let's see how do we, yes, go ahead.
Can you show me how did you do the task finished? Like a check the task is done.
Yeah, so I'm going to the task, right? Here. Okay, and
Yes.
let's open this task. And here there is everything has a state. So here it was previously it was in to do. When somebody is working on the actual development, they can set it to in progress. Again, this happens in the Scrum meetings, right? And when they are done with the task, they will say, "Oh, I'm done," so that I know it's completed, and so forth. And that's it. And when you are saying done, so that's the status.
Okay.
Click on 3 dots, it's not showing me to add the new task option.
It will show it. You might be in some different place.
How
So,
you add the sprint?
so sprint, you go back and you configure the sprints here. Actually, not here. Let's see here. Project settings.
This is the recorded, right?
Yes, yes. Yep. Let's see here. Project settings, permission, boards. So everything is configurable, okay, in the tool. You can including configure the boards as well, what different statuses it shows up, and so forth. And here, project configuration, I can set the dates, and I can select the date. What is today? So let's set it up starting from last week. Okay. So we started the sprint last week, and I'm going to set it up. It will be finished on 18. Okay. So 214 to 218. Some, as I said, I mean, somebody will do that, whether it's a business analyst or Scrum Master, they will set up all the sprint in advance for you, so that you know next sprint will be starting with the 27 to 33. So it will go to the 12 and so forth. Okay, so now it's a 2-week sprint setup. So if I go back to my project here, right, Alfred Harshal Patel, go to the boards and boards again. And hopefully I can see the dates here somewhere. It says February 14 to 5 work days remaining, and so forth. Okay, depending on, now I can see a little bit more here because I changed my status to the task. They are in the to-dos. These 2 are completed, right? This one is unassigned and so forth. Again, it's a whole workflow. You can play around with this thing. Tasks are not important, as I said, as a QA. So we'll come back here. And how do we assign the test case?
See here, it's not giving the option. Why?
Here?
Here, add transport.
So you already have sprint setup. Let me. Oh, this is a task board. Hang on, you have to go to the backlog here. Actually, let's go to the backlog view, board view. This is where you can set up the task from the backlog view. I think there is a way here to do that as well. If you are sprint view on the task board, you can only see the task because it's a task board. That's the reason you are only seeing the task. You see all the tasks listed here. That's what you are seeing. Generally, you work with the board. Okay, this view, and this is where you will start working through all the test and task and everything. Again, as I said, I mean, you can configure. It doesn't mean that you cannot add tasks or stories from the sprint. It's just that we haven't configured it. Okay. By default, this is the only place you can add. So let's see, how do we add a test, right? So think about how many scenarios you guys have for lender search. How many scenarios we had?
Completely and then,
Yeah.
Right, we had 2. Well, we have 2 or 3. 3, right? So what I'm going to do is,
Partial name and the full name, but when we do the partial name, the full name test case will redundant.
partial, so here, what I'm writing is the cracker title, scenario title. What is my scenario? Search lender by supplying partial company name, right? This is the first one. My second scenario is search lender without supplying any data, no data. So these are my 2 test cases. Again, you still have to analyze the requirement, come up with the scenario tree outside, and then come up with this scenarios. So these are scenarios. There is no details here. Okay. So how do we add any details? So that's where you go and click on the link. And it pops up this thing. So what I'm going to do is there is this important thing, right? I want to expand, maximize it. So I can click on this arrow here, right side. You guys see it? Okay. So that I can see it better. Okay. So in the tool, there are good things and bad things. Okay. So on piece of paper, you have precondition, you have post condition, and you have steps. Those are the three important things. And your test data for 4 things. Now in the tool, you don't have a way to enter precondition and post conditions. Okay. You can put the test data as an attachment on this attachment icon here. And you can say add a link or add a basically file or whatever you want. Okay, so it pops up.
So Hassel, is it the test data or test plan also we can provide?
No, test plan you cannot provide, put it in the tool, right? Test plan is a big giant document. You have to write it on piece of paper.
Okay.
Only the test case you will be able to create here in the tool. You will be able to document in the tool. Okay, so let's take a look at the simple things. But the good thing is in the tool, you can document precondition and post condition. There is a way to document in the tool. So generally, first step, this step section, that's where you're going to be writing all your steps. You always create precondition as a first step. Okay, so here, this one is buttons, right? These items, you can say insert step, you can add more steps. This one says insert steps, set steps. I'll show you later on what set step is. You can say create set step. So this two I'll show you later. But this is insert step and remove step. So you can delete any step. So first step, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to type in precondition, lender, L training, or who are you searching on? Depending on your test case, right? You have written down. So I'm logging in as super user, right? So super user, S training account exists in the system. This is my precondition. Do you have any other precondition? For this says the company name, right? You want to make sure it exists in the system as well. So I can say step 2 precondition. Company chase or lender chase exists in the system. So these are first 2 steps. I will put it as a precondition. Okay, now then you can start adding your steps from there. So what is that? Log into rflown or access rflown. Whatever description you have, make sure you write in the expected result. So there is expected result column here. This does not have actual result. Do you know why? Because we are not executing test case here, right? You are just documenting. There is no actual result here. Okay. But I'm going to say here, I am on rflown homepage. Okay, access rflown. This is my step. Then my 4th step, log in as super user using as training and training. Ask me. Logged in successfully. And I am on super user homepage. Okay. Then I'm going to the next step. What is my next step? Access lender module. Lender search page, right? Then I'm going to go to the next one. Enter chase as a search criteria. And search, right? You don't know how it will be unless you have designed for the screen and those things. So, but you need to do some action, search. I'm able to search chase lenders matching with chase is shown in search results. Okay, this is what you are verifying. That's your verification step, and you are good at this point. Okay. Now, as I said, you can put more details. Test summary. You can put it. Go to that summary tab, right? You can copy paste your summary, whatever summary you have, additional details. If you have any attachment, right? This is the attachment. So this is attachment tab. You can browse to any file on your machine and put it up there. Okay, so let's see if I have any documents or anything, then I can pull that in. And I will attach it. Assume this is my test data. Okay, so I can put it in an attachment. So at this point, I'm pretty much done with my test case, right? Because I don't have anything. Precondition don't have expected result. Okay, only the steps. Now, if you have a post condition, then you can just write it as a post condition right there. And just put whatever. But since this is a search, we don't have any post condition. Okay. But at this point, you are done. Now the state here is designed, right? You have ready, means everybody who you socialize with everybody there, and everybody reviewed your test case, and you are good. So that means it's ready to be executed. Okay, but I wouldn't worry about the state here because we don't do that. But this is important part, right? You click on save and close. It will close out this window and save your work, or you can just save. So save will just save it. It will not close the window. Okay. Let's say if I change something here, so it will pop up this box again. Now I'm going to click on save and close. Now I'm back here. Okay. Now this icon says there are 2 test cases. I can click on it and expand collapse. Okay. And if I go back to supplying partial company name, I should be able to see all my details here. Your test case is documented and everything is good. And you are there. Then you will pick the second one and you will enter more details. Okay. It's a no-brainer, right? I mean, tool is a tool. It's just a documentation. Main work is what you do prior to entering the information. That's what you do.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
So this phase means this tool is used by the QA or the tester or the both?
Everybody is using the tool, developers, QAs, BAs, and who need access to see the project details.
Okay, thank you.
Because developers are creating the requirements, right? You are not doing that. I mean, stories are created by business analysts. Developers are adding the tasks. So every story will have some tasks, development tasks. Every story will have some type of test cases, which you will be responsible for documenting and executing once software is ready.
Harshal, I
Okay.
have a question.
Yes, go ahead, Dimple.
So for the attachment, there is a paperclip button. Did you click that paperclip button and add a attachment, or yes?
Yes, so
that's-
I attach here, right? So this is attachment you can attach with the actual test case,
okay.
or there is another way as well. So
Okay.
if you go back to the steps, right,
Yeah.
you can also attach with every step.
Yes.
You can right click on it in the attachment window and say add attachment. So I can attach with every step as well. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Got it.
So that way, if you are doing the credit application, right, you can say, yep, enter credit application and say, yep, refer to attachment. And this is where you can attach your Excel. Then you can
Yes.
have another step and do attachment for that.
Yes. Perfect. Perfect. I got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's not a rocket science. Just get familiar with the tool, right? I think you'll be okay. So let's do one thing. I'll get you guys till 12, and then I'll show you how to execute the test cases and capture the defects and so forth. Okay, so another 20 to 30 minutes. Maybe create a couple of test cases, get familiar with it, right, with the tool, and work through that.
Harshal, I have one more question.
Yes, go ahead, Susie.
Is it we are using this tool only for the documentation purposes, or we are also doing the real testing here?
Yeah, you will have to do it. Right now you are documenting. Then we'll go through the testing process.
Okay,
Yep, but you have to have documentation first, right?
yes.
As part of your QA work. Yep.
Okay.
So I'll give you how about 25 minutes, right? And hopefully, I think you guys should be okay. If you have written down test cases, just pick a couple of them and enter them.
Harshal, how
Yes.
did you add this URL, say area manager or ability to search lender by lender name? You created a URL for this one? How
Not
did
the
you
URL. Tool will automatically, once you add the requirement, right? So these are stories. So you click on new item, product backlog, and here, as soon as I do something, URL is automatically created for you.
Okay, thank you.
Then you just click on it. Yep.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I didn't change the basic to Scrum, so how do I change?
Go create a new project. I would suggest go to the new project, go back to the Azure DevOps here, okay, here on top.
Okay.
Okay, and then create a new project, right? Because what you created is a basic project. So that's where you will not see, so you will see the issue and other things instead of the story. So click on new project, okay? And then in the advanced, you have to select from basic to Scrum.
Did you share that requirement document in email?
You already have it, right?
We didn't have this folder.
Yeah, in the homework email, you have it, those PDF attachment. The 6 requirements, you had the homework last week, right?
No, I was saying in the like Word format of something.
No,
Did you
it's
share the whole thing on email too? Like the whole thing?
yeah, so that's you have it in the PDF format. Yeah. Yeah, but I think if you open in the browser, you can copy, but if you open as a PDF in the PDF viewer, then you will be able to copy.
So here for the test steps, we have to give all the access URL and everything. All the
Yeah, for all the things, yeah. Yep. Yeah, whatever you wrote on piece of paper, right? Everything will go in the tool. It's a tool, right? Tool is a tool. I mean, there is not much with the tool. Okay, I'm assuming everybody has at least one or two. So let's just look at here. How do we execute, capture defects, and so forth? Okay. So within the tool, right? So when you actually get the software, when the developer is done, then you need to execute your test cases, right? And compare with the actual implementation. Follow your own instruction and see if you documented properly. The way you can execute in the tool is you have the individual test cases, and it's no brainer. I mean, you have 3 dots again, and you can say run test, and it will pop up another dialog box. What is it?
Can you just do that again?
Yeah. So right now I haven't executed anything yet, right? I only documented a couple of test cases. When you are ready to run, you come back to the story and test case, and you hover over test case, test, right? And just click on 3 dots. It will pop up a different menu. And that's where you have run test, you have open, you have reset to active. I mean, if you have remove test, you can delete out as well. Pass test, fail test, block test, not applicable. Now, if you want to pass it manually, I mean, you can do it here, pass or fail. Block test, right? So sometime, let's say the URL is not working. You did some sanity check. You say, this test I cannot execute. It says a block test. So you just mark it as a block. You cannot do anything. That's what it says. So if somebody is looking at status, they say, oh, why it's blocked? They will say, oh, developer, go fix it. It's a high priority because nobody can execute any test case. But when you want to run it, this is where you come and run it. Now, most of you, okay, if you are running for first time, and if you have a pop-up blocker, you will not, it will interfere. Okay, so you have to remove the pop-up blocker. So just let me know. I think one of you will have it, I'm sure. And you just remove the pop-up blocker from the site. But anyway, once you are on the screen, you have to follow your own instruction. Okay, so as I said, precondition will show up here, right? Because it's created a part of your test case. See, nothing else is showing up, right? So if you had any attachment or anything, it may not show up here. But if you have your test data, then it will show up as part of your step. Okay, so I have a URL, so I'm going to follow the instruction. Access rflow using this URL. Okay, so if you are testing, as you are a tester, so I'll follow my steps, rflow.azure. Okay, so I'm on the rflow page. So so that shows up expected result. I'm on rflow page. So you will mark this step as a complete by clicking on this green arrow, check mark. You move on to the next step. As soon as you do that, it will arrow or highlight will go to the second one, or you can select manually. Log in as a super user using S training and training, right? So I'll follow my own instruction because I wrote it. Think about it. So if somebody else is executing it, they have to follow your instruction. S training, and click login. Okay. So what it says is expected result logged in successfully, and I am on super user homepage. Okay. So I am on super user homepage. mark it complete. Okay, access lender management module. Okay, so now here I have lender management. So I'm going to access that. And I'm on the lender management. Yep, okay, I'm here. So I'm going to mark it as complete or passed, basically. This green is passed. Enter change as a search criteria and search. Now, I don't see any search here, right? So looks like developer forgot to implement search capability. It's not according to the requirement. What is your next logical step? What you're gonna do as a tester? Since there is no search here, you're supposed to fail the step. Okay, you're supposed to fail and you're supposed to enter the comment why you failed it. No search provided for lender module. Okay, so you want to document as much detail what you see on the screen. So at this point, you fail the step. What is the next logical step as a tester? What would you do afterwards? You don't tell developer right away, okay? Your work, your next step would be to create a defect. You only capture the result of your test. So how do you create a defect? Click on create a bug. Okay, so this is what you will do. Click on create a bug. And here, lender search, so title, right, is important. What is wrong? That's what you want to say here. Lender search functionality is missing on lender module. Okay. The good thing about this particular thing, right? So it pull up all the details automatically since you are creating the bug from the test case execution. So it says what passed and what failed and why you failed it. No search lender. So developer will take a look at it once you create a bug, and they will know exactly, okay, why you failed it. Okay, so that's what it is. You can always add more details if you need it. Okay, so you can always add more details anywhere if you need to. But these are retro steps. Okay, retro step meaning how to reproduce the same issue. So developer will follow the same steps and he will see right away what you logged in as and how you went through about that. Now, another thing you typically have to do is put some type of attachment. Okay, so generally a screenshot of the issue. The best thing you can do is there is a snipping tool. We all have it. I think if you type in snip, it will pop up, and you can just click new and then take a screenshot and put that in. So it will show the lender search and there is no search. So you copy that. There is a copy in the snipping tool. And then you come back to the bug. And you can put it as an attachment or you can put it in the detail somewhere. Let's see, let me just put it as an in Control V. I'm just going to paste the screen shot right there. But you can also add attachment, save it as a file and put it as an attachment. So at this point, I'm good. Now the defect status, right? So this is a defect. So it says new, right? What sprint it got discovered and reason, new defect or build failure. This is by default new defect report. Okay, and it's unassigned. So you as a QA, you typically don't assign defects. What happens is you open a defect on a Tuesday or Wednesday and you discuss in the Scrum meeting. And developers say, okay, let me go and fix it. So whoever developer wants to fix it, they will take ownership of the defect and they will work through it. Okay, so you just save it, close it, and you are good. You open the defect, your test case execution is done at this point, save and close. Okay, So what I'll do is I'll go back to my this module, and it's showing me this different icon. It's telling me there is a failed test case right here. One failed, one other, right? So I failed the first one here. Let me come back here. Right, so it shows there is a test case, one failed and one not executed or whatever, right? And it shows a red icon with the failed test case. And that's it. I mean, your work is done. You are not supposed to debug or anything else. You report a defect and developer will take care of it in the sprint meeting. So at this point, you will execute the second one as well, but there is no search. So you can mark it as a second one as a blocked. Okay, you cannot proceed because the whole functionality is missing at this point. And you move on to the next requirement and repeat the same cycle. Yes.
I'm just having a window saying some tests are already loaded in the test runner. Do you want to load another instance?
So that means your window is already open. So just flip to the tab and you will see it, that particular pop-up window. Okay.
What is that committed?
Committed, right? So as I said, this is generally configurable. This is out of the box product type of status is, right? So approved means, okay, everybody reviewed and they approved the requirement. Committed means maybe you get approval from the business as well. Yep, go and implement it or something. And done is done. Again, this is generally, that's what you will see on the boards. Different statuses. Yeah, out of the box, generally we don't use. But it's for you to see how you can move through the different phases.
So question.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So if we found a bug early, like right after the meeting, so do we have to assign it on here and?
No, you will not assign.
No, we just do it in the tool.
Yep.
And not tell about it until the next day is come.
No, it depends on the priority of the bug, right? So you go back to the bug and mark the priority as a high, medium, or low, or severity high, medium, low. And if it's blocking you for all the test cases, you go and talk to the developer, or reach out to the developer and basically work with them. Because it depends on the priority. If it's a medium, you can live with it, which is okay. So again, it goes back to the how critical the bug is.
When you're making the test cases, what about the precondition, post conditions?
Yeah, you already had it, right?
Yes, do we have to?
Yeah, so precondition.
Yes.
So obviously, super
No,
user.
I got that when you're running the test.
Yes, what it says is this: before you run the test, these two things has to be there, right?
So do we have to click pass on that?
No, there is no pass or failure. You don't have to do anything with that one. So let me go and run it again. I mean, if you want, you can pass it, but you don't have to take any action. Yep.
Harshal, as you said, I'm not getting the pop-up window. So where to
Yep.
go?
Yeah, hang on a second. So I'll show you how to block it, unblock it.
Okay.
Okay. But any other question on this one? How to run it, capture the defect. And you guys will find the defect in the backlog. Okay. So you may not see it on the board, but if you go to the backlog view, you will see your defect. Okay. And that's where you can see it. Click on the link and you will find your defect, modify it, update it, all those things. And if you are assigning to some specific person, you can assign as well.
I have a question about post condition. So
Okay.
the last step is the post condition.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So whatever we are thinking about the post condition, it's supposed to be at the end of the test case.
Yes, that's correct. Yep.
Okay.
Just like precondition, you add a post condition word and then type your whatever supposed to be true. at the end. Since this is a such one, I don't have any post condition. Okay. Any other question on this one? I think it's just process is straightforward, right? This happens in the testing phase. Remember that, execution, right? Documentation happens in the implementation phase generally, right? So
Yes. One question about the priority. You were mentioning that a high, medium, and low priority. Is there any function on the Azure DevOps tool? We can put the particular test case as a high priority or low or medium.
yes, so it is here. So you see here, right?
Oh,
Here I open the defect, right?
Okay.
And priority number 1 to 4, and severity is medium, high, critical. So critical meaning you cannot access the site or something is blocked, right? So or something is crashing. So you make it a critical. If it's a medium, meaning okay, some functionality is missing, you mark it maybe as a high because you can't execute your test cases. But medium or low meaning something is missing, but it's not that critical, or high, I guess. So again, it's a judgment call. What is medium versus what is high versus critical? But generally, if there are typos or spelling errors, you will mark it as a low because functionality is there, but it's just some label name is incorrect. Medium meaning, okay, there is some issue, there is a defect basically there, but it's not super high or critical. So again, it's a judgment call. But this is where you mark it.
So when this bug pop up on the developer side, they can see this priorities and severities.
No, it will not pop up on developer. Okay. But they will on the Scrum meeting, right? You will go through the items, and that's where you will communicate, hey, there is a bug open. And developers say, okay, let us take a look at it, and they will work through it.
Oh, okay.
And I think you should be able to see it on the sprint as well. Let me see. On the sprints, right? It will show up here as a new item, right on the sprint view. So if you go to the sprint view, it will show up right on the sprint dashboard.
When we are logging into the Rflow, what password and user ID we have to put? It's showing login file.
It depends on what you are logging in, right?
So we have to create account on that, and then we have to.
No, I already gave you the username passwords, right? You already,
Username
yeah,
and password.
yeah. You already have it in your binder.
Yeah.
In the 4th page, on the 2nd tab, 3rd page. And depending on what user you are logging in, you have to log in as that particular user.
Where?
Or in your binder,
Oh.
it's right there. In the 2nd tab, or the 1st tab, right after 1st tab, 3rd page. Right, because you need the logins.
Yes.
So does this call execution, Harshal?
Yep, this is what you do when you are doing the testing, manual testing. It's still manual test, okay? You are executing your test steps. Now, if something is not clear to you, then you can imagine if you give the test case to somebody else, they'll come back screaming as well. So.
Okay, I have a question, like, I'm trying that negative amount test case for that. Do I need to first have a user here with all the details?
I mean, can you access site without login?
I did log in as G training, and I can see calculator, print, blank application, enter app data, load.
Okay.
status. Now, if I click on calculator to just check if it takes a negative amount, it just gets me to the login page, the previous page.
So what would you do? Is that expected behavior? It shouldn't be, right?
No.
Yeah, you should get some error message, or maybe there is a defect in the software,
Okay.
right? So that's what you are testing. That's part of your test. Yeah, no software is bug free. in real life. You will always have some bugs, and that's what you are supposed to find it and report it.
So for one of the test case, I write in the test steps.
Okay,
So I wrote 5 of them, but I forgot to do the preconditions as step 1 and 2.
yeah, you can do insert step. So you can go to the first tab, open the test case, do the insert step, select the first, go to the, put a cursor in the first one
Yeah.
and do insert step. So it will insert a blank step above that.
Oh, okay.
So, Harshad, can you repeat the first one, the lender name, how you reported the bug and everything?
Yeah, so you can report the bug through the execution only. So you need to be in the execution mode.
Yeah,
So the way you can execute it, right? That's what you are asking?
yeah, run test and then,
So here,
Yeah.
you see that this is what I'm trying to execute.
Uh-huh.
So you click on 3 dots, say run test.
run test, I did that.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then,
So from here,
uh-huh,
so you go and follow your own instruction, right?
yes,
You pass this one, and you are failing this one.
yeah,
And then you click on create bug,
okay, what was that?
create bug. It's right at the top. Do you see create bug?
Yes, create issues, right?
Okay, so, so if you see create issue, right?
Uh-huh.
You probably did not change it to the Scrum project.
Oh, yeah,
That's why you see create issue.
Okay.
Okay. But it's okay. You can do create issue and it will open issue.
okay, now how do I go back and change it to prompt?
You cannot, you have to create a new project
Oh,
and work through that.
all right, I'll do this.
Yeah. But create issue, I mean, it's a little bit different, but it should be okay.
Only 2 issues.
Sure.
Okay, create issue, right? So you, I would suggest you open a, create a brand new project. There is no harm. You have to write bunch of test cases anyway.
Yeah,
So might as well just go create now,
okay,
proper way. The way you can do it, right?
Yeah.
Go back to the Azure DevOps,
okay.
new project,
Uh-huh.
do public, advanced, and make sure you select Scrum. Okay, you cannot change it once it's created. That's the bad part. Okay, so make sure you have it on Scrum.
Got it.
So, sure.
The credit application model.
Credit application, they should, you should be able to do that. They might be calling it different.
Like on the art loan page, we
Yeah.
don't see any credit application.
Are you sure you logged in as a dealer?
Yeah. G-Trading.
Okay, then what you do, open a defect, right?
Okay.
Yes, go ahead. Who was talking online?
Yes, I was talking. So if we find any incomplete requirement here, so Azure DevOps is the tool to talk to the business.
Yep,
owner.
so you will review it, right? That's happens in that sprint planning meeting. So make sure you understand the requirement when you are pulling into the sprint.
Okay.
So you shouldn't have anything else left here.
Okay.
So sprint planning, that's where you discuss and generally it's like a 4-hour meeting, okay, on Mondays.
Okay.
Or you go through everything, all the stories, design it together. As well, while developers are designing, you are sitting there and clarifying any requirement that with the business as well.
Okay. And what if still we find something incomplete when we are testing and we need to ask question? So
Yeah, the
should-
business leader will be there, right? In the Scrum meetings. So you can ask them all. Yep.
Okay. Like other way is can we email them with everybody's email address as a group, or the Scrum meeting
Yeah,
is a
you
better
can email
option?
them, but it's generally you work with the product owner or basically for clarifications.
Okay.
And they will pull in the business if you need something urgent, right? So
Yes.
yeah, because what happens is if you reach out to them and they say some answer, but that's not communicated to the developer. then you will build your test case and developer will build something else. So that would be wrong, right? So
Yes.
it's always good to work with a proper channel.
Okay.
Harshal, still I'm unable to test. Can you just tell me how to unblock the pop-ups?
Go ahead and share your screen. Can you share your screen?
Are you able to see, Harshal?
No, go and do one more time. Share screen. Stop sharing and share screen.
Can you?
No, it's not coming up. Maybe it's taking time. Are you sure you are sharing it? Click on share screen. Yeah, I have multiple participants enabled, so you should be able to share it. Did you stop sharing? Sushri?
I don't.
Just stop sharing again. Click on stop share and then share again.
Okay. I cannot see stop sharing. It's only share screen.
Okay, so green one, can you click, we'll see what happens with that? Because I'm not sharing right now, so you should be able to share it. Yep, okay, it's coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, expand it, expand the screen, make it full. Okay, run the test so that I know. Okay, so this is a Chrome, right? So go to the browser at the top, like view options, and you will see the two things, two windows. No,
View.
no. Dev.azure.com, right? You have the URL. Go to scroll to the right. Yep. How about you give me the control? Let me just check it.
Okay.
It's opening up a new window, looks like. Oh, wow, so you have so many windows open. Can you close this runner test plans? No, it's here. Okay. Okay, so here. Yep, there you go. It might be that you already had a window open. Okay, that's the reason.
Oh, okay. Okay.
For you, it's a different since it's a Mac. So, right. So you can stop sharing.
Okay. Thank you.